Shalom to the hopeful elect Israel, Hebrew Israelites, those Native Americans, West Indian Haitians, and the foreign Israelites that look like the other nations scattered across the four corners of the earth. First and foremost, I want to give all praise to Barak Yahawah, Barak Yahawah, Barak Yahawashi, Barak Yahawah, Barak Yahawashi, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash. I want to give double honors, truth, who have been ordained by the Lord to teach the flock how to live, repent, pray, fast, and so forth. The Lord's righteousness, to all those who are part of the elect, and to the hopeful elect. Lord willing to be part of their number. Lord willing to be edifying to those who fear in the name of the Lord and striving to show forth the Lord's righteousness. Every day always comes to light. Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 5, and it's not slack. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 9. 2 Ezra chapter 5, verse 42. Yahawah is the name of the Heavenly Father. God. And Yahawashi is who everybody ignorantly calls Jesus in the world, who was from the tribe of Judah, who was slain at the foundations of the earth. So, Bahasham means in the name of. So when we say Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, the Heavenly Father coming in the name of His Son. Okay, they both are on one accord entities. You know, Yahawashi had to go through certain things that definitely, which was being sacrificed. You know, so that's how you see like those the day of judgment that is to come upon the earth. He knows what day it's going to be. So there's a few things I want to put out there. So these I want to also give a sincere salutation to all the hopeful elect out there, for mighty men, whoever they may be, 144,000 elect mighty men, whoever they may be, and also to the honorable multitude of few men and many women and children. Bahasham Yahawashi. Also want to thank Bahasham Yahawashi another day for giving us another day to, you know. So we're gonna get right into this lesson. Topics before I get into the topics that are on my that's on the intro. So basically, it says China says conflict with U.S. will be an unbearable disaster. It says America, Babylon the Great divided. It says various in time. Yeah, there we go. So Lord willing, let's be edifying to the flock. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so the first one I'm gonna start with. It says U.S. Air Force denies running simulation in which AI drone killed operator. We know a little bit about it. Kind of break down to you what's going on. The issue is with simulation. Basically, this whole, this situation that we're in is nothing but it as well. From Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. So let's read a little bit about this and we'll get into some pep. So denial follows Colonel saying drone used highly unexpected strategies to achieve its goal in virtual test. So it was a virtual test, right? This is an MQ-9 Reaper drone. This is a drone, man. 2018. So they've been had these, okay? They've had these for a long time. So the U.S. Air Force has denied it has conducted an AI simulation. Okay, they denied it, but we're gonna pull some precepts going on about how much they say didn't do shit and they done did it. So hold on, make sure my stuff okay. So, anyways, U.S. Air Force has denied it conducted an AI simulation. Drone decided to kill its operator and to prevent it from interfering with its efforts to achieve the mission. They got somebody make a hole on it. Whatever. An official said last month that in a virtual test of the U.S. military, an Air Force drone controlled by AI had highly expected strategies to achieve goal. So Call Tucker or Cinco Hamilton, a simulated test in which a drone powered by artificial intelligence was advised to destroy an enemy's air defense systems and untimely attacked anyone who interfered with that order. Releasing while they did identify the threat, at times the human operator would tell it not to kill that threat. But it got its points by killing that threat, said Hamilton, the chief of AI and operations with the U.S. Air Force during the Future Combat Air and Space Capability Summit in London in May. So what did it do? It killed the operator. Killed the operator because that person was keeping it reaching its objective, he said, according to the blog spot. We train the system. Hey, don't kill. That's bad. You're going to lose points if you do that. So what does it start doing? It starts destroying the communication that the operator uses to communicate with the drone to stop it from killing the target. It says no was harmed. Okay. But what my point is, like, we'll read a little bit more. So it says Hamilton, who was an experimental fighter test pilot, was warned against relying much on AI. Said the test shows you can't have a conversation about artificial intelligence, machine learning, economy if you're not going to talk about the ethics and AI. So basically, what is, you're not supposed to, you can't talk to an AI, okay? You something after it's programmed. So what are you gonna do when Bahasham and Yahawashi from these things, to take out two-thirds Esau, Edom, and the other 17? Because that's what he's gonna do. He's gonna use these things for his will. Okay, and that's why we keep telling Jake, why are you, man? You're not stopping this thing. If it pull up at your spot, if 10 of those pull up, you think a 7 is gonna do something to that? It's not gonna do nothing, man. And it's gonna shoot a rocket at your ass and blow you up. So this is the whole point, first of all, we don't believe the Indians these people say. They always be saying stuff, and then later on, be finding out they be lying, and that it wasn't a simulation. What I'm saying is, either way, I wouldn't trust nothing motherfuckers say. Period. So let me get over here to my notes. maybe I'll put it in my other group. Just have it with me. Oh, here it is. Okay, so we're going to, with Job 13, verse 4. Also says, trust not thine enemy. You know, we don't never trust these people. You know, trust themselves. So this is Job chapter 13, verse 4. But yeah, forgers of lies. Yeah, physicians of no value, they forge lies. With these articles, they forge lies, man. Articles, all kinds of forged lies. Okay? That's how they do. They lies. You know, also with medication. You know. So now we're gonna go over here. We're gonna do Proverbs chapter 20, verse 24. I want to go to the blue letter Bible because I want to look it up in a couple other versions as well. So Proverbs chapter 20, verse 24. And it reads, man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own way? So you can't have, like, and nobody has their own way. The Lord makes us do everything that we do. See? But when it comes to AI drone, you can't tell no damn AI drone what to do. You know? So Lord made some of these men and had them make stuff like this for his will, you know? It's part of his weapons of destruction, man, to destroy the wicked with. So the Lord, men who are making these machines and these AI bots, they don't understand that it's really, you know, designed to put it, you know? And it's because the Lord is making them do it, you know? And in verse 25, it reads, a snare to the man who devoureth that which is holy, and after vows to make angry. And we're going to read a little bit that what that means. It basically meaning like you want to destroy something, but then you want to do something to destroy the holy, then you don't want to count the cost after. You want to try to count the cost and see what's going to come out of that. And that's what they do. But we're going to keep going. We're going to read to another. We're going to read in another version that says, verse 26, a wise king scattereth the wicked and bringeth the will over them. Okay, verse 27, the spirit of a man is the candle of the Lord. See, searching all the inward parts of the belly is true. You know, mercy and truth preserve the king, and his throne is upholden by mercy. See, we need mercy. You know, mercy and truth is what preserves, you know, and also is, you know, a big part of Yahawashi and Yahawashi. You know, is mercy on 1/3, whoever they are, Lord willing them. But we've already received mercy by being called just into this truth. We just hope to be the ones that dwell until the end, because those are the only ones that are going to be saved. So mercy and truth preserve the king, and the throne is upheld by mercy of young men is their strength, and the beauty of old men is the gray head. So we got our elders and apostles, but the beautiful thing about them is that they have way more experience than us young men, you know. And when we learn from apostles, they show us how to build that strength, you know, and use that strength for us. And that's what brings the beauty in the body, you know, us coming together and us young men taking heed to our elders when they tell us to do stuff. We learn how to facilitate our energy and use it for that. And that's how it's effective for Israel. Like it says, not all of Israel is not all of Israel is not Israel, because we got 2/3 of our people. They're not understanding we're in captivity. They're trying to still establish their life here. They believe in people like Obama and Martin Luther King and Mandela. Like these people were great people or something when they weren't. They were wicked men. So this is back in the NLT verse. The Lord directs our steps. So why try to understand everything along the way? This kind of it's not going on too bad, but it's right. Because it's saying like, don't seek out nothing that's too hard for thee. There's another scripture that talks about that. Don't be seeking out stuff, trying to understand everything. Sometimes just do what you're told to do. You don't have to understand to take orders and follow them. Then in verse 25, don't try making a rash power and only later counting the cost. See, and this is a promise to Yahawashi. We're going to fulfill our. So don't trap yourself by saying you love the Lord so much and blah 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 blah, and you not understanding what cost you to make for proving that to Yahawashi. It's going to be a lot of hours. Okay. So it says, verse 26, a wise king scatters the wicked like then runs his threshing wheel over them. It basically destroys them. It says the Lord's light penetrates the human, exposing every hidden motive. And that's what it does. This truth exposes what you're really in it for over time. Like people are going to know, the hopeful elect's going to know. They're going to know what your intentions are by the way the Lord guides your steps. That's what we have some guidance. We can't guide our own steps. In verse 28, unfailing love and faithfulness protect the king. Throne is made secure through love. You see, and what's love? Rebuke, exhortation, lifting up your brothers. There's many ways of love. Discipline. That's showing that you love your side. Charity, which is this word. So verse 29, the glory of the young is their strength. The gray hair of experience is the splendor of the old. So that's going back into that. And I want to look up this word inquiry too, in verse 25, where it says, and vows to make inquiry. I'm going to look up that word and show you what that means. This next preset. So,
Strong's H1239. I care.
To seek, inquire, consider, to seek, look for, to consider, reflect, to plow, to care for, admire. So if you're going to do this, to seek out, if you're going to do these kind of, don't destroy yourself by making some vow to the Lord, to fulfill it, So, and I was just listening to Elder Kazak the other day, and he was talking about don't make vows either, because we're in this flesh. Just do the best you can, because we're gonna go off. Make no vows, because the Lord will hold you to it, just like He said, He'll hold you to it. So this is Proverbs chapter 16, verse. And it reads, the preparation of the heart in man and the answer of the tongue is from the Lord, Yahawashi. So that's why we pray for Him to give us our words, which is through this truth, through great millstone. Verse 2, all the ways of man clean in his own eyes, but the Lord weigheth the spirits. How? Through justice and judgment. Verse 3, thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. So as you establish yourself in this truth, the Lord's going to establish it as you go along. Don't worry about thinking so hard or thinking too deep. The Lord's going to guide you where you need to go, or Israel, and you love the Lord, you know, and you got to be a part of it, but we don't know who the elect are. So, you know, we're putting on the image of the elect, and we're hoping that the Lord gives us those steps and those steps to have us endure to the end. Because if you pick up the spiritual plow and you put it in, you did, don't even matter no more. So 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 6. For of this sort are they which creep into us. So like 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 3. Okay, so this reads, now therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahawashi. How do we do? By continuing to do the work no matter what. You know, we're going to come up with a way to edify the flock to the best of our abilities. It's very to prophesy and teach this truth, you know, and show the you know, the hopeful elect. Second, and also, you know, discerning the times, watching the times. So 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 4, and it reads, no man that war entangle himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who have chosen him to. See, we were chosen to be soldiers. You can't be called to this truth and not be chosen. There's no such thing as free will, as we just read. Coming to this truth, that means that the Lord chose you to be a soldier, but that doesn't mean that we were chosen to be the elect. That's why I said many called, but few were chosen. But we were all chosen to be called. We don't know which one of us chosen to be the elect yet. We don't know, and we're not going to know until He wants us to. Right? There ain't no reason to think too much about it. But I know He chose us to be soldiers. That's why we're enduring. Verse 5. And if a man also strive for man, yet is he not crowned except he strive lawfully. You see? The husband that laboreth, partaker of the fruits, which is his doctrine. You know? So we got to labor and understand what the fruits of the Lord is in these commandments. And follow them to the best of our abilities. We know we're going to. It says a righteous man gets back up, you know? And that's part of your trials. To say you're going to get back up just like he did Job. If I take everything, you're going to give up. So now going back to where, you know, there are these weapons, right? These metal, big, huge drones, right? Well, we're going to go back over here to Genesis 4:22. Okay. We'll go back to Genesis 4:22 right here. And it says, and she also bare Tubal-Cain. And Tubal-Cain is one of Cain's sons, right? And an instructor of every ass and iron. And the sister of Tubal-Cain was Naamah. So you look up Tubal-Cain, you look up his name.
Strong's H8423. Yeah. Tubal-Cain.
Right here it says, son of Lamech, by his wife Zillah, and the first word. See, he made the first metals. He made the first weapons. You see? Let's see. Let me see this. That's not the one I'm looking for. It's one of them. See? Right here. Remember the Lord said he was a smith, okay? So he was a first blacksmith, okay, who made weapons, right? So you look more into this, you start to understand the similarity of him and Esau, Edom, okay? Because that's with the sword. So this is how you get a connection to show these are the same spirits that when they were destroyed in the flood, it came back as Esau Edom. Because what was Esau Edom? He was a hunter. You can't be a hunter unless what? Weapons. See? So they're it's the same thing, but we're gonna really prove that. Okay. So it says, and Lamech said unto his wives, and Zillah, hear my voice, ye wives of Lamech, hearken unto my speech. For if I have slain the young man to my hurt. Let's talk about, he killed Cain was talking about he killed Abel. He said if Cain be avenged sevenfold, truly Lamech 70 and sevenfold. Now why does it say that? Because it said basically if you put a curse on Cain, and he said if anybody killed him, they would be cursed. So which means completion. And then 70 and sevenfold, that's completion. But that's like, it's just showing that you get a way harsher judgment for trying to avenge Lamech. Okay. So basically, the reason why is because when it comes down to it, like, was around the time, like basically when it said, if you tried to kill Lamech, 70 and sevenfold, they were going to come back and be reincarnated as Esau Edom, okay? And they were going to get what? Going to get the fatness of the earth. See what I'm saying? That's what they're going to get. They're going to get the, how do we know? Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 9. And it reads, the thing that hath been is that which shall be. So they were going to come back and do the same thing they did last time. What? Prices of weapons. And they led all the way up to this stuff. See? It is that which shall be, and that which is done shall be done. There is no new thing under the sun. So look new, these drones and stuff, but it goes all the way back to Tubal Cain in the garden, and Cain in the earth, making these artificial weapons, and they have perfected these weapons all the way up till now, doing it repetitively because nothing changes. You see? So we're going to go to Genesis 27, and show where Esau, or 40 verse 20, 27:40, it shows where Esau was blessed with the sword, and that's metal, artificer of weapons. You see? And it shows that when they all perished in the flood, they came back because there wasn't when Japheth were on the ones that came out from Noah, there wasn't there wasn't earth at that time. And then after Abraham had after Abraham had Isaac had Cain and Esau, or not Esau and Jacob. You see what I'm saying? Ever, the so-called white man came back. You see? And that way, showing that they were reincarnated to do what? The will of the Lord. Be his punishing stick, basically. He's the whooping stick of the Lord. That's why he was used on so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay? So this is Genesis 7, chapter 27, verse 40. And by the sword thou shalt live, thou shalt serve thy brother, passion, thou shalt have dominion, and thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. See? But we'll go back a couple. It says, and Esau said, hast thou but one blessing, my father bless me, even so my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. verse 39, he said, and Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above. You see? So he got all the stuff in the earth. He got the fatness of the, while Esau Edom, the so-called white man, has all the riches and all the money and all the weapons. Because it's them coming back and getting the same blessing they got last time. The sword. So this is Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. The water for everybody that comes and tunes in to call Yahawashi, Barak, Atham. No, Mondays are always days everybody's working. I don't work till 5. I thank Yahawashi. I say the water Yahawashi for that because I can get this working. So Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12, for we wrestle not against blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. See? So we're battling against the same spirits. How do we know? Because it said we'll battle from Amalek, from generation to generation. The people are back from the flood, you know, all the way top on down. And now we're going to go over here. We're going to deal with something else. I just want to pull those things out and kind of just gotten so excellent with these weapons because they've been crafting it for generations after generations. It's going to be this time. They're going to try to make their little digital C-hip New World Order, and the Lord's going to destroy their ass. So now we're going to go right here. It says official, almost 80 schoolgirls poisoned, hospitals in northern Afghanistan. So they're poisoned, okay? Poisoned and hospitalized in 2 separate attacks at primary schools in northern Afghanistan. Seems like a chemical attack. It is thought to be the first time since the Taliban swept power in August 2021 and began their crackdown on the rights and the freedoms of Afghan women and girls. Girls are banned from education beyond the sixth grade, including university, and women are barred from jobs, and most jobs in public spaces because they're supposed to be wives, you know. But you know, the way they're doing it, you know, it's going off of it, you know. But you know, even the elders and apostles, they tell you don't teach your wives too much. They don't need to know a whole lot of stuff. They just what they supposed to be doing, you know, for you. They're not supposed to be learning all that. That's how they got deceived. You know, Esau Edom, so-called white man. Well, not really. The Satan is a spiritual demon, and Edom is his vessels he uses. And so is Cain. Those were his vessels that the Lord gave him and ordained him to use to do his wicked deeds. You know, because Satan is basically a son of God as well. He's on the left-hand side of the Lord. He's on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side, you know, is Yahawashi, and the righteous angels. You see, and that shows you there's a separation. You know, Yahawah and Yahweh is not, you know, the same person. They're 2 different entities. You know, Yahawashi sits on the right hand. So, you know, we're talking about the education said the person who orchestrated the poisoning had a general grudge, but did not elaborate. You know, this is the work of the Lord, just to show you that, you know, the Lord is punishing, you know, people who are taking heed to what He's telling them to do. You know, so you know, that's a lot of little schoolgirls getting sick, man. That's a lot. You know, or judging them for, you know, whatever they might have did before they got here last time, what they did this time, because that's why you go to the judgment sheet of Yahawashi, and He makes you come back here to go through something. You know, we all been done this before. So there's also over here sweltering heat in Vietnam's north sparks power cuts. So they're over there receiving power cuts. They're over there in a lot of turmoil right now, you know, and a lot of judgment, taking away people's comfort zones because they don't want to repent and convert because Jake is one of these schoolgirls, okay? It wasn't just all just heathen schoolgirls. Everywhere, coming after the house of Israel first. He's coming after Jake, okay? And a lot of them are in the truth, but he's still on after Jakes that don't know. He's coming after 2/3. He's searching everywhere with candlesticks, and whenever you don't do what the Lord says do, he says, all right. And he lets, he tells Satan to do stuff. Satan don't do whatever he wants. The Lord says, you go do this to that person, go to that person. Satan don't got no control. He works Lord. So Exodus chapter 9, verse 15, that's why it says to flee from inequity. Because if you do that, he'll jack you up, and if he does jack you up, it's to test you. So Exodus chapter 9, verse 15, and it reads, for now I will stretch out my may smite thee and thy people with pestilence, and thou shalt be cut off from the earth. And that's what happened to us last time. Now he's doing that to our enemies. He's pushing that on to 2/3 of the people that don't want to take heed, and also the other 17 nations. So that's what he's doing with these plagues. He's using them for his judgment. This is Numbers chapter 4, verse 12. And it reads, and they shall take all the instruments of ministry. Hold on. Hold on. That's not the one I'm looking for. Give me 1 second. It's Numbers chapter 9, verse. Numbers chapter 9, 12. Yeah. I might have said something else, but let's do Deuteronomy. Let's lock it. Deuteronomy 28:51. I think I must have wrote the precept I wanted to pull up, but I'm going to do this one. So it's Deuteronomy 28:51. This is part of the curses. Usually we're supposed to go to the blessings. It's Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1 through 15, and then 16 through 68 are the curses. This is part of the curses that we're under until Yahawashi comes and saves whoever been ordained at the dawn of time to be saved. Lord willing, be part of that number. So Deuteronomy 28:51, and he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land until thou be destroyed. Talking about these other nations. First and foremost, Esau did to us, man, which also shall not leave thee either corn, wine, or oil, increase of thy kind, or flocks of thy sheep until he have destroyed thee. These are part of our sicknesses, just pestilences, it's all different types of sicknesses, mentally and physically. Lord put curse upon us because we didn't want to obey. So that's why we're supposed to be in a state of mourning. Like we're not supposed to be going around having fun. And that's why a lot of people don't want to come to the truth that GMS has to offer, that they have received from Yahawashi. Everybody else, they want to party and have fun. But it says the servant is no greater than his master. Yahawashi didn't come down here to have fun. He came to do the will of Yahawashi. So Jeremiah 21, verse 6. And I will smite the end of this city, both man and beast, and they shall die of a great pestilence. That's what's coming to 2/3. And everybody, the other 17, they can't even receive repentance. So, but 2/3, they're gonna, because they're not gonna keep staying in their wicked ways, That's why we don't want to be like these people. So now That's what I got right here. Lord put spirit on me to deal with. It says Donald Trump is promising peace in a second term. War was more likely, but we know it's gonna happen. Why? Because it happened last time. Remember, said what happened once shall happen again. It's like it. You know how I said what happens once will happen again. So we know it's going to happen. They're always peace, peace, but war is in their heart. Okay, how you gonna say peace and there's a whole bunch of military gear back there, helicopters shooting missiles? Y'all not seeking no peace, man. This place has been at war for 95% of it in existence. So I want to pull up and read Daniel chapter 2. And we're real quick, and we're going to go into this, and it's going to show you, you know, the vision in the last that Daniel spoke about. You know, he spoke about them. And the same people that took down Babylon last time is going to be the one to take it down this time, but it's going to be a lot more people with them because in Ezekiel chapter 38, they all band with Russia and they come Babylon the Great. But this time it's talking about the first Babylon. Okay, so but okay, was taken down by the Persian and Medo-Persian Empire, you know, which is based on day Russia and Iran, you know, but the Persians were mainly the ones who took them down, which is Iran. And those are the same ones we finna go in, you know, because this is like a digital Tower of Babel, just like Babylon tried to make a Tower of Babel. This one is going to be the digital one. It's like it. This is going to be the digital one that they're trying to build. So in the second year of the reign of Nebuchadnezzar, Nebuchadnezzar dreamed dreams, wherewith his spirit was troubled, and his sleep brake from him. He commanded to all the magicians and to the astrologers and to the sorcerers and the Chaldeans, which is the so-called white men, told the king his dreams. So they came and stood before the king. And he said unto them, I have dreamed a dream in my spirit. Then spake the Chaldeans and the king of Syriac, O king, live, tell thy servants the dream, and we will show the interpretation. And the king answered and said to the Chaldean, thing on for me, if ye will not make known unto me the dream with the interpretation thereof, ye shall be cut in pieces, and ye made a dunghill. But if ye show the dream and the interpretation thereof, ye shall receive me gifts and honor. Therefore show me the dream and the interpretation thereof. And they answered again and said, let the king tell his servants the dream, interpretation of it. And the king answered and said, I know of certainty that ye would gain the time because ye see the thing that is gone from me. He's basically telling them, I can't remember this dream. Tell me what it is and tell me what happened and tell me what it means. Like that's what he's telling them. I'm gonna kill all of y'all because I'm paying y'all for nothing. So it says, but if ye will not make known unto me the dream, Salakia, there is but one decree for you, that ye have prepared lying words to speak before me. And what did we just read about earlier? We know that they forge lies and positions of no value. Okay, oh, they lying till the time be changed. You know, therefore tell me the dream, and I will know that ye show me the interpretation thereof. The Chaldeans answer before the king and says, there is not a man upon the earth show the king's matter. Therefore there is no king, Lord, nor ruler that as such things at any magician or Chaldean. You see, and just like this Bible, it's not meant for them to break it down. It's meant for the elders and apostles who consist of so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American, West Indian, Haitians. Okay, they got to break it down to it, just like then once. This time they had to break it down this time. It's the same prophets. So, and it is a rare thing required, and there is none other that can show it before the king, except the gods, those are the false ones, because it's G, whose dwelling is not with flesh. For this cause the king was angry and very furious, destroyed all the wise men of Babylon. And the decree went forth that the wise men, and they sought Daniel and his fellows to be slain. And Daniel, because he's an Israelite, he's an Israelite, so a Chaldean, but he was like, kill them too. And he's like, hold on. So then Daniel answered both the council and wisdom, Arioch, and captain of the king's guard, which was gone forth to slay the wise men of Babylon, because he was part of them. They made wise men after they threw him in the lion's den and they didn't eat him, So, and before that, he was like a tax collector, but he was the most honest one, and they didn't like him for that because they're wicked. So, to Arioch, the king's captain, why is the decree so hasty from the king? And Arioch and Slaki, my screen blacked out. Then Arioch made the thing known to Daniel. Then Daniel went and desired of the king that he would give him time, that he would show the king the interpretation. So Daniel went to his house and made the thing known to Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. Now they called them, like, all kids, they got shows like Veggie Tales and stuff, and they had the Rawchaa, Meshach, and Abednego. Well, those are their real names. Hananiah, Azariah. Those are their real names. That's who they call Rawchaa, Meshach, and Abednego in the churches. That's who they are. Those are his companions. And they would desire the mercies, when they threw them in the furnace, and they the Lord delivered them. So verse 8, they would desire mercies of power of heaven concerning this secret. And Daniel and his fellows not perish with the rest of the men of Babylon. So the secret revealed to Daniel. See, he said he said, surely the Lord, Yahawashi, would reveal his secrets to the prophets. So he's not going to reveal a secret to a prophet and then say, all right, later on, somebody else. No, he's going to keep it with those same people. But they got to come back. So verse 19, then was a secret revealed in a night vision. Then Daniel blessed the power of heaven, which is Yahawah. Daniel answered and said, blessed be the name forever and ever. Where'd it go? Yep. Forever and ever, for wisdom and might are his. And he changeth the times and the seasons. He removeth kings and setteth up kings. He giveth wisdom and knowledge unto them that know understanding. See, so we can't get nothing without Yahawashi. Just like Daniel could too. He revealeth the deep and secret things. He knoweth what is in the darkness, and the light dwelleth with him. Thank thee and praise thee, O thou power of my fathers, who has given me the wisdom and might, and has made to me now what he desired of thee. For thou hast now made known this matter. And just like this time, he's made known these breakdowns and these dark sayings to the same prophets, his sons. And Yahawashi called, his prophets his friends. If you give a friend a secret, you're not going, you're gonna give it to that friend again. If this is all over again, So therefore Daniel went up into Arioch, whom the king had ordained to destroy the wise Babylon. He sent and said thus unto him, destroy not the wise men of Babylon. Bring me before the king the interpretation, because the Lord gave it to him. And Arioch brought in Daniel before the king in haste, and said, thus I have found a man of the captives of Judah. See, he was a so-called Negro that will make known unto the king of the interpretation. And the king answered and said unto Daniel, whose name was Belteshazzar, art thou able to make known unto me this dream which I have seen, interpretation thereof? Daniel answered in the presence of the king and said, the secret which the king had demanded cannot the wise men, the astrologers, magicians, the soothsayers show unto the king. But there is a God in heaven, power, that revealeth secrets and maketh known to the king Nebuchadnezzar that shall be in in the latter days. See, this is a prophecy that's going to come, and we're at the bottom of this statue right now. But we're just going to mingle with the first two, the gold, the head of gold, and then the breastplate of silver. But we're going to read a little bit more. So it says, thy dream and the visions of thy head upon thy bed are these. As for thee, king, thy thoughts came into thy mind upon thy bed. What should come pass hereafter? And he that secrets maketh known to thee what shall come to pass. But as for me, this secret is not revealed to me for any wisdom more than any living, but for their sakes that shall make known the interpretation to the king, and that thou mightest know the thoughts of my heart, which means mine. Okay, Lev, which means mine. In Paleo Hebrew. So the king's dream. Thou, O king, sawest and behold a great image. This great image, this was excellent, stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible. The image of the head was fine gold, the breastplate of armor silver. Guess who that is? That's Persia. And the belly and the thighs of brass was who? Alexander. And all them, and then it led the Iron Monarchy. And when you look into it, when you look into history, Babylon the Great was taken over by Persia, and they all had silver weapons as well. And it says the belly and thighs of brass, which is Alex Greek. They call him Alexander the Great, but we call him Alexander the Greek over here. But Alexander the Greek, they were the Grecians, Greece, and they had all bronze weapons, and that's how they were able to win, because much money on their weaponry, so they could have more weapons, more arrows, more stuff like that. And that's how they won. And then his legs survived the Iron Monarchy, okay, the Roman Empire. His feet were part iron and part clay. And right now we're at the bottom of this statue, okay, where it was partially healed, but it's divided. They don't agree on everything. So stone was cut out with the hands which smote the image upon his feet that were iron and clay, and break the pieces. Then was the iron, the clay, the brass, the silver, and the gold broken into pieces together. It became like a chaff, which is like wood, like when you burn stuff in the fire and the wood's like barely burning, it's all burnt up. That's chaff of the summer threshing floor. And the wind carried them away with what? The intercontinental ballistic missiles, that no place was found for them. Desolate wilderness. And the stone that smote the image became a great mountain and filled the whole earth. What's that? That's Israel. Yahawah, Bahasham, and Yahawashi establishing Israel on the earth. You see? We're going to read it just. We're almost done with this. Yeah, we haven't got too much more. I want to go ahead and keep reading through it. And see, it'll show you the interpretation of his kingdom. This is the dream, and we will tell you the interpretation thereof before the king. Thou, O king, art a king of kings. The power of heaven have given thee a kingdom, power, and strength, and glory. And wheresoever the children of the beasts of the field and the fowls of heaven have given unto thy hand, and have made thee ruler over them all, thou art this head. See, he was talking to Nebuchadnezzar, said, that's you. And then you got Medo-Persia and that's Russia. Persia is Salakia. Yep, Persia is Iran, and then Greece was right after them. See, America, Babylon, and Greek, and then Rome. And after these shall rise another kingdom inferior to thee, and another third kingdom inferior to thee, and another third kingdom of brass, which shall bear rule over all the earth. And Alexander the Greek, the whole earth at the time, the known earth, and then Rome came, and the fourth kingdom shall be and the fourth kingdom shall be as strong as iron, the Iron Monarchy. For so much the iron breaketh in pieces and subdues. And the iron that breaketh all these, it shall break in pieces and bruise. That's because they got divided, you know. And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of the potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, and there shall be cut strength of the iron, for so much thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay. And that's why Europe is divided in countries, different barbarian countries. Okay, they're not together. And as the toes are part of the iron and part of the clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. It says, divided house cannot stand, so it's going to fall. And whereas thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay, and shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they to one another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. They're divided. And in the days of those kings of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed. And that's what's coming, the tabernacle of David. That's what we're building right now, is with these, lessons. And basically, I don't think in this vision he knows about the little horn just yet, but a little horn comes up from all these kingdoms, and that's America, Babylon the Great. Okay, that's healed by the empire. That's why we call this place the revived Roman Empire. So basically, because they came up their money. So shall the power of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall be not be left to other people, but it shall break into pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. And that's Israel, the tabernacle of David, 144,000 mighty men under Yahawashi, and then you have the honorable multitude, 33%, or it's the 144,000 elect and the honorable multitude to make up the 33% of the elect who were chosen to rule with Yahawashi, and then the 2/3 are going to become those elect's kids. So all is saved, but only 33% is going to get saved on this side, and that's why we're working and praying in nation and hoping that we're part of that number. That's why we call ourselves a hopeful elect. We don't know. Nobody knows except the Lord, except Yahawah. He knows who's his, and that. So, anyways, for so much as thou sawest the out of the thou hands, and that it break in pieces the iron, the brass, the clay, the silver, and the gold, and the great power have made known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter. And the dream is certain, and the interpretation thereof sure. So he promoted Daniel, and basically he had it to where Daniel was ruling, said down here says Rawchaa, Meshach, and Abednego, but we know that's Mishael, Azariah, and Hananiah. So they were basically him, and they were ruling, and that was when we were slaves. Okay, that was when we was in captivity, and the Lord had him ruling over this, over the whole. He was a governor. So that was pretty cool. Cool. The Lord did for Daniel. He gave him a very wise vision, and it set him up in a good position during captivity. And that's what the Lord's doing with this truth for us. He's setting us up in a great position in this captivity. Because we're gonna be, we could be the rulers of the universe with the Yahawashi. That's what we're doing when we do these lessons to edify the flock. This is us being a worthy sacrifice. But I'm going to go ahead and read it one more, and then we'll move on to the next article. But I really wanted to do this lesson in the spirit of Yahawashi. I was pretty excited about it, so I haven't got to read the whole chapter, to to the flock. So it was cool. So then the king Nebuchadnezzar fell upon his face, worshipped Daniel, and commanded that they should, after an oblation, offer an oblation and sweet odors unto him. King answered unto Daniel and said, of a truth it is that your power is a power of God's, because he's the only God. There's no other. And the Lord of kings and revealer of secrets, seeing thou couldst reveal this secret. Then the king made Daniel give him many great gifts. So this is also showing that the Lord can give, heathens visions. He can give it to them, but they can interpret them. They still need Israelites. They can't interpret shit. So they just got a dream. They're like, what the fuck? I don't do this because they're carnal. So they need us, to break it down. So then the king made Daniel gave him many great gifts, and made him ruler over the whole province of Babylon, and chief of the governors over all the wise men of Babylon. Then Daniel requested of the king that he sat Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, which is uh, uh, Hananiah, Mishael. What was it? Salak. Okay, let me go back up there and make sure I'm not saying the name. It was Azariah and Hananiah. He put them, them over the affairs of the province of Babylon, but Daniel sat in the gate of the king. So, that's how the Lord is. Like, it said there had to be a falling away first. This truth was a forgotten thing. It was forgotten by everybody. And then it was revealed to Abba Vivens, and that's why we believe, he's Baptist, because just like the Lord gave him these interpretations, it's the same thing he did with Abba Vivens. He came out and broke down chart. He broke down these kind of things, not because of his own strength, because Bahasham and Yahawashi made him do it. He moves, makes all men do what they do. So that's how we know it's coming from Bahasham and Yahawashi, and we can trust it. So, on. Water for tuning in. Call on Bahasham and Yahawashi, Barak, Atham. So also right here, we're going to deal with this for just a second. It says AI eliminated nearly 4,000 jobs. So that's what people are not understanding, like how fast this is going. Okay, very fast. Okay, these AI robots are taking people's jobs real fast. That's a lot of, like, if we did 8 months, only improved, or only had like 4,000 jobs taken. That's 32,000 jobs. That's a lot of jobs. That's a lot of people that don't got a job. That's a lot. So for those who want to AI will start replacing human jobs, the answer already has. Okay, and it's going to be happening later on in the future. This is happening right now. Artificial intelligence contributed to nearly 4,000 job losses. The report released Thursday, the replacement firm shows that the layoff announcements from U.S.-based and more than 80,000 in May, a 20% jump from the prior month, nearly 4 times last year. And I'm telling you, last year when I first came into, the knowledge that Great Millstone had this truth, they were posting stuff like this, saying there was going to be 120,000 jobs lost every month. And look at, here we are, just getting took by these damn bots. And not let alone on that, they laying off people because they don't got enough money. So that's the, they about dead on with what they're saying. So we're not going to be able to get out Bahasham and Yahawashi. We're going to need him to get us out of this. There ain't no getting out of this. And with this, I want to read Ecclesiastes, going back referring to the book of Daniel. This is chapter 1, verse 10. Okay, saying that one thing is going to happen again, right? Happen again, like I said in Ecclesiastes 1, verse 9. Verse 10, it says, is there anything whereof it may be said, see, is this new? It had been already of old time, which was before us. See, he told Nebuchadnezzar, hey, this stuff is all just going to happen again. It's going to be burned through fire, because back then they knew about the flood. they knew about these things. They had, they knew about the stories of Noah, because they survived that. So those stories, they went on, they knew those stories. In Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 11, it reads, there is no remembrance of the former things. Well, if we don't be back into the earth, then why is there no remembrance of the former things? See? So it might look like what we're doing every day is whatever we're doing, but hey, we did this before. And it probably was in the same way we did it last time. It just doesn't seem like it. Everything looks different, I like to say a term, same shit, different toilet. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what we're in. It's just a few added touches to it. The times have changed. So instead of destroying it by the flood, which that was that time, now he's going to destroy it by fire. It was a different time. It's going to be the same conclusion to those who were wicked that time. They're going to get the same conclusion. They're going to be destroyed. And the ones that were righteous, they died at that time, but since it's a different time, they're going to get time. See, so there's a few minor adjustments, but it's because the discerning of the times. So remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after. And that's how we've been here before. And that's why we're supposed to be in fear and trembling. You have Bahasham, Yahawashi, and be like, oh, damn. Okay, I don't know what I did last time, and be asking forgiveness for the stuff that we don't remember we did wrong. He's keeping a tab on us. He can bring up anything in any one of our past lives. Oh, you think you righteous? Remember it, but I do. Judge you here for it. So that's why we want to be real careful not to tempt Yahawah. He ain't playing. He's pissed right now. It's Isaiah chapter 19, verse. We getting the party and playing around. Lord and mood jack shit up. It's Isaiah chapter 19, verse 15 says, neither any work for Egypt which the head or tail branch or rush may do. Now I've read this several lessons, but I want to go pull it up in the blue letter, because this is going to be, it's a little bit more edification when you put it in other when you put it in other verse. Do the NIV. We'll try the NIV and look this up. And it reads, there is nothing Egypt can do, head or tail, palm branch or reed. When you go look in the NLT, it says there is nothing, all are helpless, the head and the tail, the noble palm branch and the lowly reed. See, we know we don't got no way out of this. There's no way out of this new world order system these demons do. There's no way out of it. There's not going to be no work left. It's going to come to a time where all you have is this knowledge and wisdom and understanding of Yahawashi. This isn't just like, when did they ever talk about this kind of stuff on the news? They never have. That's how we know that it's going down. It said, U.S. employers announced 80,000 in cuts in May, up to 280%, 287%. Why? Oh, why? I don't know what that means. As the artificial intelligence waves guns momentum, around 3,900 people were laid off because of technological advances. But 80,000 people, a lot of people. It says in Daniel chapter 12, verse 10, knowledge is being increased. So as knowledge gets increased, they're going to learn how to make this shit faster. They're going to learn how to get more technological advances. And what they can do, cut more people off. So this is conflict with U.S. could be an unbearable disaster. So just to read a little bit, it says the conflict, an unbearable disaster, and the world is big enough for both countries to grow together. Defense Minister Lee Sheng Sunday. So they're trying to say, yeah, we can grow together, blah, 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 blah. Well, we're going to pull up a couple precepts and show. Okay, so this is Psalms chapter 55, verse 1. We don't got to listen too much to these damn back, us to understand that they're lying. Shit's finna go down. So this is supposed to be Isaiah 55 verse 21. It's lock in. So they act just like America Babylon the Great. Okay, they literally act like, but we're gonna pull up the precept about that in a second. So Psalm chapter 50, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. You see, they're talking about we're all good. Terry Geary got on all of the these people worship death. Okay, they love killing shit. That's why they got all the weapons. But it says, but war was in his heart. His words were soft in oil, yet they were drawn swords. And that's how they are. That's how they are. They be the world's big enough for both of us, and then they kill each other. So second Ezra, chapter 15, verse 47. And it reads, woe unto thee, because thou hast made thyself like unto her. And this is talking about China. You see? Because they're America Babylon the Great. They got all that technology over there. They're trying to do all the 15-minute cities, and they're trying to have control over their people digitally. So one, woe unto thee, thou wretch, because thou hast made thyself like unto her, and hast dead daughters in whoredom, that they might please and glory in thy lovers, which have always desired to commit whoredom with thee. They want to be like America Babylon the Great. See, that's what it says right here in verse 46. And thou, Asia, that art partake of Babylon, and art the glory of her person. See? Talking about Asia, and that's what they're doing. They're taking being just like Esau, Edom, trying to act like they want to be best friends, and they start shooting. How we know they're going to start shooting? Shooting because it says right here. They're going to start busting caps. Ain't no controlling weapons and be like, we ain't going to shoot none of them. Okay. You know y'all lying. But you ain't going to shoot none of them. Quit lying. I want to read this in the NLT. And it's going to read Obadiah chapter 1 verse 7. This is talking to America Babylon, basically talking to America Babylon the Great, because Obadiah is literally the passages Edom's judgment announced. And when you put in the thought, Edom will be humbled, basically. So we're just starting with the Chaldeans' excellency. America Babylon the Great. What was the last time? Babylon, the same place. It's just got a twist of the ironarchy in it, because they're the ones who put them back into power. So Obadiah chapter 1 verse 7, all your allies will turn against you. They will help chase you in. They will promise you peace, just like he said, we're going to get along, while plotting to deceive and destroy you. That's what they're doing. They plot. Trusted friends will set traps for you, and you won't even know it. See? What's going to happen at that time? Not a single wise person will hold land of Edom. The whole land, says the Lord. For the mountains of Edom, I will destroy everyone who has understanding. Everybody in Mount, and if you're Team Esau Edom, you're getting blown up. Okay, it's not what I'm saying. Whether you think there is or not, but we'll read it in the King James version because this has power. But we use the other ones for better breakdown. For people try to get a little better understanding, because some of these are sayings like you got to study around it, so you can get a better understanding what the Lord is saying. So it reads, all the men of thy confederacy, even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat the bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none in him. So like if you was to read this to somebody just out in the street, they wouldn't understand this. You got to break it down. Shall I not in that day, Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom and understanding out of Mount Esau? But it said over there, he said he's going to kill all them motherfuckers. You see what I'm saying? That's why you want to, do your studying. So Joel chapter 2 verse 31. I know a fairly long lesson that I did, but the Lord had the Spirit on me this morning, was like, yeah, I want you to do all this. I was like, got it. Doing it. So this is Joel chapter 2 verse 1. King James Version, okay. This is what's coming. Sun shall be turned to darkness, and then with the great and terrible day of the Lord come, talking about the intercontinental ballistic missiles. And you know, just with that Jacob's trouble, where everybody tried, and they're gonna ask you if you want to take that sea hip, which is the mark of the beast, this IP that they be using to get to their doors, their door handles and all that, get in a car, they're gonna say they're gonna put you to death. And we're hoping the Lord lifts up a standard against them at that time. Some of us might end up having to go to the concentration camps and then get saved out of it. Lord, make us a way to escape. Like he just give you spiritual powers while you're sitting in the cell, you just fly out. Like, you don't know. But Lord has whatever he want to do. He could even have it where you about to get your head chopped off off the thing and it land on your neck, don't even break. And then you get up and be like, oh shit, I got powers, and start fucking shit up. Like, we don't know. Gotta have that kind of mindset, like being prepared to go all the way to the end. Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 4, today of the Lord Yahawashi is near, it is near and hastens greatly. Even the voice of the day of the Lord Yahawashi, mighty men shall cry there bitterly. So how much more the women? That's why we tell the women, you need to get your man of the Lord, you need to serve him to the abilities. It's gonna be a time he's gonna be the only one, if he's of the elect, Lord's gonna have him ready. He's gonna be ready to defend you or whatever, be prepared, to die with you. You think that we're gonna make it on this side, it was just because we're doing the work and stuff, the Lord might have ordained us to die. Because it says is the death of his successor to the Lord. Some of us have very extreme amount of faith, and the Lord wants us to go, do that righteous death, driving unto the truth to death. Some of us are gonna have to do that. But we're willing to make that sacrifice for Yahawashi like he did us. We want to do it, it's supposed to do it. But if he wants us to be saved, we want to be saved. We don't want to just do this and not want to get saved. Like, we want to get saved. Poland's opposition brings hundreds of thousands onto streets to protest against nationalist government. So there's hundreds of out there, and this actually happened yesterday when also in New York I did a post on it. Somebody that's down there in New York sent me a picture, and like the moon was like strawberry looking, like red, and that happening over there in New York and Buffalo. They had like what's it called? The Rainbow Crew, Transformer Crew. They had a big old parade or something. So while all that's going on that day, that's the Lord got all these demons out there stirring up everything to be marked for judgment. Out there in folly and have fun and the person down there that sent me the video, they was talking about there's a bunch of fights and all types of stuff. People got killed out there. So this 9 verse 3, therefore when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of people in the world, so just like we do. Oh, come on now. Get out the way. Verse 4, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. So he was talking about it since Daniel chapter 7, verse 10, when the judgment was set and the books were open. That's what it says in Daniel 17. And then, Daniel came out and said it before that, in the second chapter. Now we're going to do second Esdras, chapter 3, verse 9. And it reads, and again, thou broughtest the flood upon those that dwelt in the world and destroyedest them. So this is all it is a process of time for these people to be destroyed. It's just a process of time. There's not no if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. You know why? Because there's uproars all in the world, and we see it every day. Every day. So now we're going to deal with things dealing with judgment, people trying to out there with folly, 2 shot dead, 4 others injured at a party in a vacant home. So they was over there partying in some vacant ass home and got supposed to be over there playing around. They wasn't be over there partying. But the Lord brought them over there. Why? Because he ordained them to get put to death for some reason. It was on over here. Talks about a woman is dead and 6 others injured at the Chicago memorial gathering. It's a deadly shooting. And that's why it says let the dead bury the dead, man. That's what supposed to be going around doing all this shit. Killed. You know, they went to celebrate the life of a man who was killed in a car accident 4 years ago. They always come and make it seem like these people was innocent and they just wasn't doing nothing. And no, they were on 48 West Iowa Street. There was probably some gang-related shit, and they got shot up because they was being wicked. That's what the Lord does. He say vessels of vengeance, okay, to pay people. He said he will pay 2/3, okay, and the other nation gonna pay them to their face through what? Through grievous deaths. See, and over here is killed in Southwest China landslide covering mine worker dormitory. Yeah, that's a grievous way to go. You know, that was on Sunday morning, and that all happened during that blood moon. I had seen a blood moon 3 days ago, and I was doing I did a video on that too, a little small one. So these blood moons, man, Lord be judging shit on them days. He judging shit on every day, but them days he seriously be fucking shit up. People attention. So this is Psalms chapter 89, verse 14. I'm trying to be a little quicker. I know I've been here for a second, but the water for tuning in. Not a lot of people tune in that long, so it's the water. So it's the Psalms chapter 89, justice and judgment on the habitation of thy throne. Mercy and truth shall go before thy face. So justice and judgment is basically where you're at. Everything around you is justice and judgment for what we did wrong. Everything we see is justice and judgment. So if we go hard time and people treating us like shit and stuff is, you know, a big reason is because we deserve it. And then some of it is because the Lord chastising us, and sometimes he lets people do you wrong so he can judge their ass. If you're actually someone who believes in the truth and you're righteous, you know, he has a lot of scriptures talking about they misuse the prophets. They do stuff like that. So if you're really like, that's what I said, if you come fight for the Lord, prepare your soul for temptation. You know, prepare for people to try to get you to go off, because people don't rest unless they afflict someone. Okay, they're demons. Okay, they can't even sleep at night unless they did somebody feel like shit. Like that's a demon. Okay, like be up 3 o'clock in the morning, like fuck, I ain't made nobody's life miserable. Like that's really how they think. Psalms 106 verse 3: Blessed are they that keep judgment, and he that doeth righteousness at all times, to the best of their abilities. So we're supposed to do righteousness at all times. How do we do that? Stand occupied in prophecy. Luke chapter 4 verse 7. You know, you sit there and just talk about scriptures all day, there's way more chance you're not gonna fuck up. Job verse chapter, remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off? See, righteous are cut off. We're cut off because that was a sweet savor to the Lord, just like it was when Yahawashi got sacrificed. It's the same thing, you know. And those people are gonna come back. They're gonna be resurrected at the same time that you know, everybody else down here that did the other elect get beamed into the chariots. We're all gonna go meet them in the cloud. You know, if we're of that number, and we hope to be part of that number. So Isaiah chapter 1 verse 17. You know, and you gotta think about the prophet called him in half. Okay, that's a grievous death. Okay, and he was a righteous man in the Lord. You know, did a lot for the Lord. You know, he was a major prophet. Isaiah chapter 1 verse 17. Learn to do well, seek judgment. What we're doing, we're seeking these people getting murked because they keep on their bull biggity, partying and trying to get the bag. Learn to do well, seek judgment, relieve the oppressed. Who's the oppressed? So called Negro, Latino, and Haitians. Israelites that look like the other nations. That's all Israel. We're the oppressed. You know, judge the fatherless, the widow. You know, and that's what we're doing. Because we were widows. We were widows to Yahawashi and Yahawashi. And some of our people out there are still widows. Why? Because they don't know Yahawashi and Yahawashi. We're trying to bind them back to the marriage to get ready for the marriage. This is First Peter. Oh wait, let's read verse 18. And it reads, "Come now, let us reason against the Lord. Through your sins be as scarlet, they shall be as white as snow. Though they be red like crimson, they shall be as wool." And that's he's cleaning us through this truth. That's why I say he said John the Baptist said that I baptize you in water, but who comes after me is greater and mightier than he, and I can't be. Now I was talking about Yahawashi and Yahawashi. He said, but he will baptize you with the waters of the word, baptize fire, which is this fiery trial. You know, and then also, you know, it talks about the furnace of affliction and the bread of adversity. You know, and it says that, you know, he regenerates us through the waters of the word. These are these deep understandings, you know, as you go on into in the truth. You know, so we're gonna do First Peter. Just about done here. Got too much more left. At the verse 8, and it reads, "Above all things, have fervent charity." What's that? Doing this work yourselves. For charity shall cover a multitude of sins. That's why we're working our ass off every morning, every day, getting out and doing these lessons, going to camp. You know what I mean? Getting our shit right. You know, to the best of our abilities. All of us go. All times we can make correction videos. Oh, I thought it was this and it wasn't that. But you know, that's a blessing for that, because it's showing that the Lord is like He that focused on you. He's like, when you know you got some silver in the fire or something, gold, you got to turn it a little bit. Oh, you got to turn it that all the way cleaned. So you might be teaching, you might go off on one thing by accident. Lord, fix it. He directs our steps. He's gonna fix it. You know, if you stay fervent, He's gonna direct it to you in the due time, and fix that little part that need to be seared out of you. So, you know, necessary patience. Seeking Yahawashi and Yahawashi is necessary, just like it says in Ecclesiasticus 30, I think 20 verse 32 or 32 verse 20. I might pull it up. But we're gonna keep going. Hebrews chapter 13, or chapter 3, verse 13, Salakia. 3 verse 13. And it reads, "But exhort another one daily." That's what we're supposed to be doing to the best of our abilities today, which is every day, because every day is 2 days. You know, it might be your last one, so you might want to be doing this. Lest it be hardened through the deceitfulness of sin. So you could be, you know, in the truth for 3,000 days, 10,000 days. And you the one day you would doing the work, Lord pop, you know, that's the fear of the Lord. Like, I don't want to be that guy get caught. Do all that damn work, and then the day you come back, you ain't doing it, you know? And that's how the elders and apostles are. They do the work of the Lord every day. And that's what we want to be like. We want to be like our elders and apostles. You know, they don't play around. They get this work done. Okay, over everything. I don't care if I don't care if I gotta go do my community service, whatever. I'm gonna make sure I sit down and do this first, because the flock is what's important. Ecclesiasticus chapter 39, verse 1. But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most and is occupied in the meditation thereof, we're supposed to be meditating on this word. That's how we do it. Continually reading this stuff over and over again until it comes to the point where you see something like, oh, that talks about Ecclesiasticus chapter 39, verse 1. Like, that's how it's gonna be. Like, you're gonna be able to answer like that. But and thereof will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient and be occupied in prophecies. And when talking about the body, don't try to think that the head is more valuable than the foot. They're both very valuable parts. If you ain't got no feet, you can't walk. If you ain't got no pinky toe, your whole foot kind of, you walk. So just because other parts of the body you might think they're not necessary, they are necessary, and that's how we're about it. Like there's something that we can do to help this body. If it's not prophesying or doing videos or whatever, maybe it's tithing, maybe it's helping a brother have somewhere to stay. I don't know. But part of this body, the Lord gonna make sure you do what you're supposed to do. Psalm chapter 10, verse 15. I know this is one thing that's really important. This is what we all says, break thou the arm of the wicked and the evil man in the spirit, not in the flesh. I'm gonna go break nobody's arm. Seek out his wickedness till thou find none. See? So we're supposed to be seeking out his wickedness. That's plain stuff, because you can say that damn like people like what's his name? What's his name? They always talk about him. Something Malone or something. Vocab Malone. He Post Malone or something. He ain't nobody. Anyways, you go try to say something about break down the arm of the wicked. Be see they all go around breaking arms. So you gotta explain stuff. These duck ass Christians come over and dismay you. So this is something interesting. There was just a train derailment in India, like 300 plus people, and guess what happened on Sunday morning? On that blood moon, what? Gas train derail in Morrow, just outside the neighborhood in Oklahoma. Okay. Look at that. Just all types of supplies wasted, jacked up. Like y'all just all the train trails, all the trail, like this don't make no sense. That's why right here, I'm gonna go look it up. I got about 4 more precepts and then we're gonna be done. Isaiah 29:15. Oh, come on. Okay. Now, okay, so Isaiah 29:15, it reads, woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord Yahawashi, and that's what they do. And their works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth this and who knoweth this? We do. We done seen about 17 million train derailments in the last 4 months, all over the place. There even been train derailments in Russia. Okay, they're everywhere. Okay, this is them just causing pandemonium, and they're destroying crops. They're destroying animals and using biochain reactors to make meat and doing all types of stuff to where they're slowly slimming down our resources, and they're all the grapes. And they're gonna be like, well, we got all the grapes that's left. You're gonna have to take this sea hip. You want a grape. It's 64 verse 5, and it reads, they encourage themselves in the evil matter. They commune themselves, they commune of land snares privately, and they say, you shall see them. Well, Lord does, because he wrote about it for your ass even born, for whatever time, how many times you was born. Isaiah chapter 6, verse 1. We're gonna read a little bit right here. We're gonna see how long we're supposed to be in this. Isaiah chapter 6, verse 1. And it reads, in the year Uzziah, that's when the kings of Israel died, I saw the Lord sitting upon a throne, high and lifted up, and his train filled the temple. Above it stood seraphims. One had 6 wings with face, and with the twain he covered his feet, and with the twain he did fly. And he cried unto another and said, holy is the Lord Yahawashi of hosts, the whole earth is full of his glory. And the posts of the door moved at the voice of him that cried, and the house was filled with smoke. Then said, I, woe is me, for I am undone of unclean lips. That's how we all were. We were men of unclean lips. We were speaking false doctrine, going off, worshiping, and I dwell in the midst of the people of unclean lips. See? Because we were worshiping those other gods from other nations. For mine eyes have seen the King, the Lord of Yahawashi, when I flew from the Sephims unto me, having a live coal in his hand, which he had taken with the tongs from off the altar, and he had laid it on my mouth and said, Lo, this lips, and thine iniquity is taken away, and thy sin purged. And that's what he's doing with his word. We're being purged with this word through the fire, through us enduring. Also, I heard the voice of the Lord saying, whom shall I send will go for us? Then said I, here am I, send me. That's how we're like, Lord, send us, we'll go. And he said, go, hear ye indeed, but understood, but understand not, and see ye indeed, but perceive. How 2/3 of our people are, they don't listen. And then make the heart of this, verse 10, it says, make the heart of this people fat, and make their ears heavy, and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and understand with their heart, which is their mind, and convert to the doctrine of Yahawashi, and be healed in the spirit. See? Be healed in the spirit. And that's what we're doing. We're trying to get people to come to, but we're telling people, and then the Lord has to get you to want to convert, because he controls all the bodies. So verse 11 said, I, Lord, how long? And he answered, till the cities be laid without, wasted without inhabitant, and the land be utterly desolate. And the Lord have removed men far away, and there be a greatness to the land. But yet in it shall be a tent, and it shall return, and shall be eaten as a tilled tree, and whose substance is in them when they cast their leaves. So the holy seed shall be the substance thereof. And that's talking about the elect. So, that's basically what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be keep. The Lord says stop. We'll just keep warning every day. You gotta watch out, Lord. We're gonna jack shit up. As soon as you wake up tomorrow, what do you do? We're gonna jack shit up. That's all you do every day. And of course it's deeper than that, but it's pretty simple. So this says, OK-AG, 17 other states sued Biden administration over immigration. It's a lot of that's a lot of states that's showing a division. So while they got the other president on trial for being a criminal, the other president that was in America Babylon, the great, what's the name, Trump, who we believe is so, which was a Roman wicked emperor. Okay, he was the one. I can't remember exactly what time he was in. He was really wicked. He did a lot of wicked shit. I don't want to get into it because I've already been here for almost 2 hours. So we're just gonna type this in. We're doing epistles that long because I know a lot of people be having stuff going on. So this is Matthew chapter 12, verse 25, and it reads, and Yahawashi knew their thoughts, and kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. And that's what happened with us last time. 2/3 of our people were going off and being, and the other third of us wasn't. We was trying to be good, and we was trying to do our best not to go off. And because we were all got destroyed. But this time, they're a nation of their own, and the elect of a nation. So every kingdom divided against itself is brought into desolation. And every city and house divided against itself shall not stand. So that's why we didn't stand last time, and that's why we know that America, Babylon, and Grace not going to stand, because they're just suing the shit out of each other right now, doing all the shit. And basically, whenever 2/3 get cut off and die, when you look at Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12, verse 1, it talks about the Lord's incorruptible spirit is in all. So they're going to die, but that wickedness is going to be purged out through them, through literal fire. We're going through the fire now. Okay, so we're, You know, it's better to go through this fire than the actual one where you get burned alive. You know, that's not the one we go to. 2/3 of them gonna have to go. Two-thirds of our people gonna have to go through that, and their incorruptible spirit's gonna come back, but they're gonna be a righteous spirit. 2/3 spirit is not gonna exist no more. They're gonna be part of what? Israel. He has to purge it. You know, divide against itself, so not stand. Verse 26: If Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. Out then this him stand. It ain't gonna stand. It's gonna fall. And if by Beelzebub, which is talking about Satan, cast out devils, and that's what they be in the churches. They be trying to cast out devils with devils. By whom your children cast them out, therefore they shall be your judges, and that's what they're going to judge 2/3 of Israel. They're going to judge the elect. We getting fuck out of here, Lord willing. We're part of that number. Verse 28: Cast out devils by the spirit of power, then the kingdom of power is come unto you. To what? The word by Yahawah, Yahawashi, because he's literally the word in the flesh. So I want to do that one because I said I was going to pull it up. Lord made me remember it because I quoted it earlier, but I didn't know if it was one of the other one. This will be my last precept. You know, I learned a lot of this because a lot of those videos I went and, yes, 20 verse 32. A lot of those videos I went and watched the whole thing, everything, wrote down all the stuff they said, and that's how I got so knowledgeable in a short period of time, because I was studying like 10 hours a day, like every day. Like, you know, when I first came into you, I was terrified of the Lord. I thought he was going to blow us up tomorrow, you know. But, you know, I'm starting to get a little bit more, you know, balanced, you know, starting to calm down a bit, you know, but I still have a lot of fear of the Lord. So Ecclesiastes chapter 20, verse 32, and it reads, necessary Lord is better than he that leadeth his life without a God. We need our God. Ask thy elders, and they shall tell thee. They're our God. They're supposed to show us how to serve Bahasham, Yahawashi, and how not to piss him off. So, Lord willing is edifying to the flock. Shalom, Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American, West Indian Haitians, and the foreign Israelites, Yahawah, Barak, Yahawashi, Barak, Yahawah, Barak, Yahawashi. Gotta give all praises to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. I said the elders and apostles, a great millstone, led me to this truth, have been ordained by the Lord to teach the flock how to live repent every day to the best of their abilities. His judgment always comes to light. Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 5. Now slept is unto a ring, 2nd Edom chapter 4, verse 5, verse 42. Lord willing to be part of that number. Lord willing to be with the Lord's righteousness every day to the best of their abilities. So Shalom, Wah, Baba, Ball, the water for tuning in. Make it through the day and we'll be able to exalt the name of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi yet again tomorrow.